Welcome back to the Takeout. There's now less than a month until the Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies, actually tax credits, expire. That's a sticking point in Congress that in part led to the longest government shutdown in American history. Bipartisan legislation introduced by two California congressmen, Republican Kevin Kiley, Democrat Sam Liccardo, would extend those credits with a couple of alterations for 2 years. They both join me now. It's great to have you both, gentlemen. This show loves nerds. We get nerdy, unabashedly.
Well, you're in luck.
So Kevin and Sam, give me not the political argument, but give me the quick nerd argument for your version of extending these enhanced tax credits. Kevin, go first.
Well, we got income caps, we've got anti-fraud measures, we've got reforms that prevent overcharges to insurers. And so at the end of the day, it all nets out, and this is really nerdy, to the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget for the only plan out there that actually saves taxpayers money while sparing Americans, 22 million Americans, this massive increase.
Sam, any other nerd points you want to make?
Well, I think Kevin said it well, but I would go even a step further. It's the only plan that actually pays for itself. We know it's going to cost money. Tax credits do. That's a tax expenditure. So if you're going to obviously protect 22 million Americans and millions of others who are concerned about rapidly rising premiums, you need to find a way to pay for it. We have done that and more. We're actually reducing the deficit.
So, Kevin, is this of any interest to the House Republican leadership?
Well, the leadership, I know, understands what's at stake. And so we're hoping that they will see things the way that we do and say that doing nothing is not an option here. And there are enough members of our conference as well as the Democrat caucus who feel the same way. So I do believe that one way or another, the House will work its will.
What about the White House?
And I think the White House is on the same page.
But last week, the president was this close to introducing something or backing something, then he got a call from the speaker, and the whole thing came to a crashing halt.
Well, it's been postponed for maybe time to just process more views from members, which I think is fine, although time is kind of running out because we're talking the end of the month here. At the end of the day, it's Congress that actually has to take the initiative to pass legislation. So what we need to do is reach a bipartisan deal. I think what Sam and I have offered is a great compromise. It might not give everyone everything that they want, but I think it strikes the right balance and will spare these 22 million Americans from a huge increase in costs.
Sam, let's get procedurally a bit ugly here. There is a thing called the discharge petition, which we heard about quite famously in the context of the Epstein files. That is a mechanism to drive this to the floor, even if the House Republican leadership doesn't want it to. Is that a strategy that you would pursue?
Well, right now we have 5 Republicans and 5 Democrats on the bill. That's not enough to get you to discharge petition.
No, it isn't. It's quite a way short. You need 218, yes.
But certainly I'm confident we could get the Democrats. The question is whether or not you'd have enough Republicans to do that, and I couldn't speak to that. What I do know is that there are conversations ongoing between different members in the White House. Trump is not on speed dial for me, but nonetheless, I know others are, and we hope that will result in some direction for Johnson to let something get to the floor.
Kevin, would a discharge petition make you queasy?
I don't think we should rule anything out. I mean, this is that important. I've always considered a discharge petition to be a nuclear option, but this is so important that I think we need to consider all available tools. I'll add, by the way, that the Speaker has floated the idea of making it harder to do discharge petitions, which would absolutely be a non-starter for me and I think many in our conference.
Yeah, and obviously I'll do everything I can to get a discharge petition to move. We do have a discharge petition out now that the Democratic side does, but it's a 3-year deal that I don't think anybody expects Republicans to support.
Back to our nerd obsession. Yep. If your idea is so good, pays for itself, why just 2 years?
Well, the idea is we're providing some runway here. So we think that this does not solve the healthcare affordability crisis in this country. There's a lot more we need to do in order to increase access to care. And maybe we agree on some of the things that should be done. Maybe we disagree on some of the things that need to be done. But what we certainly agree on is that we're not going to solve all of that in the next month.
Sam,
and so we're providing temporary relief.
The cynic would say in me, small cynic, I'm not a big cynic, that this gets you past the midterms, but doesn't get you past the presidential, which makes it topical for the presidential.
Well, actually, if we were really going to be cynical about it, we make it 3 years so that it would be right
up against the presidential.
That's right.
Well, that is the discharge petition.
So that is exactly what the Democratic discharge petition is.
Translation, the discharge petition, slightly cynical.
Yeah. Nonetheless, look, I would love to extend this permanently. We don't have a Congress line to do that or a White House. So you're
going to find partners where you can.
Politics is about the art of the possible.
Right. What about the argument that many of your fellow Republicans made that the extended enhanced tax credits have long outlived their usefulness. They were a COVID remedy to a temporary problem. How do you answer that?
Yeah, so my answer is this, that I actually agree that we have gotten into this vicious cycle where costs continue to go up and then the subsidies are almost, just having to keep pace with that. The problem is that the Americans who are being forced to pay these high costs shouldn't be the ones who are punished for this, shouldn't be punished for Congress's failure to act. And so if these subsidies disappear overnight, you're talking about folks that are going to be paying thousands of dollars more. This is independent contractors, freelancers, gig workers, people who drive Ubers. This is retirees who are not yet eligible for Medicare. This is small business owners and their employees. Why should they all suffer? Because Congress has failed to act to control healthcare costs.
And Sam, I've been told that there are cascading costs even from people who are not directly influenced by the subsidies or the enhanced tax credits.
The big challenge, obviously, everybody knows the 22 million Americans who suffer seeing their premiums double, but we know a significant number of them, about 3 million, are likely simply to opt out of the insurance pool. When more people leave the pool, those are overwhelmingly younger people who are healthier. That means cost goes up for all of us together.
I want to talk to you both about something else that just happened this week. There's now a stipend available to each and every member of Congress, $20,000 for security. Do you need it? Do you want it? Is that something that you personally, Sam, are going to spend money on to protect yourself when you get out of Washington, D.C.?
I haven't used it myself, but I do know colleagues, specifically 6 of them, who have been taking a lot of death threats lately. And I've had conversations with a couple of them. They were all featured on that video, of course, that went viral, about encouraging folks not to follow unconstitutional or unlawful orders. And they absolutely need the money. And it is unfortunate that we are in an era where not only do we have presidents of the United States saying things like, retweeting, hang them, but we have a political environment in which obviously elected officials feel they need it.
Kevin, to be clear, it's $20,000 a month.
Yeah.
For each member of Congress. Do you need it? Do you want it?
I certainly haven't used anything approaching that amount. I don't know if I've used any, but there is truth to the fact that threats against elected officials are at an all-time high. We've experienced some truly traumatic incidents as a country. And if folks don't feel safe in public service, that impacts the quality of people who are willing to run and to make that sacrifice. So I don't know if that's the right amount or not, but I do think that it's important. And I think that also it's incumbent on all of us to try to kind of lower the temperature when it comes to the rhetoric, when it comes to the way that we engage in political discourse.
Sam, I'll give you the last word. What does it say about a democracy about to celebrate its 250th birthday that it needs to set aside $20,000 a month for private security for each member of the House of Representatives?
Democracy is fragile, and it's up to all of us to preserve it. I applaud Kevin for his willingness to reach across the aisle to do something very significant to hopefully set a different tone. But we need much, much more of that, and it's up to all of us.
Sam Liccardo, Kevin Kiley, appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.